what is up? Today I'm here to do my third installment in my story time series. I got some pretty great feedback from the first two I did. This video is going to be about hacking and getting hacked. Hacking is definitely not a pleasant experience. It's not something I wish upon my worst enemy. There's just something about, having your privacy invaded that just really makes me uncomfortable, and it's something that I wouldn't want anyone to really go through. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my experience with getting hacked. So the first time I ever got hacked was about a year ago. It was December 2013. So it was during my Christmas break. It was, like I said, December 2013, and it was one night that I happened to be on Instagram. It was about 2 a.m. and I went on my profile and I noticed that my bio had changed, and I had noticed that my pictures by the second were being deleted. I was like, okay, this is very unusual. Someone has obviously gotten a hold of my account. So I quickly went through my email and I changed my password. In about 5 minutes, the hacker had deleted I would say about 90% of my photos and unfollowed a bunch of people, just stuff like that. So I was kind of disturbed almost. This was the first time I had ever encountered being hacked. I had always heard of the term hacking or being hacked, but it was the first time I had ever come in contact with something like this, so I wasn't really sure what to do. So I talked to one of my friends who happened to have a friend who is very skilled in computer science and IT. So I was like, okay, this is perfect. So I contacted him and he was able to track the IP address of those logins. He pinpointed the unusual logins at this random subdivision in my town, and the subdivision happened to be gated. But I was so eager to find out who did this because at this point in time I couldn't think of anyone who would purposely do something like this. I didn't have any enemies. I didn't have anyone who I thought disliked me to the extent where they would, invade my privacy like this. So I was very confused. So I kind of went incognito one day and I went to the subdivision. Like I said, it was gated, so it was kind of a struggle to get into the neighborhood. Got my way inside the gated subdivision and I found the address, but the thing was, he wasn't able to pinpoint an exact house number, but it was this cul-de-sac with about 4 other houses. And once I went, the first thing I noticed was this truck with a label, like a sticker from the high school that I previously attended. And I was like, I'm almost positive it's this house, but I wasn't sure whose car it was. So I kind of, snooped around and I asked a neighbor who happened to be outside or mowing the lawn, and I was like, does anyone in this little cul-de-sac happen to go to such and such high school? And he was like, yep, that house right over there with the 2 trucks. Both of those guys graduated from the high school that I attended at the time. The person who lived there was a close friend of a guy who I was very close with at one point in my life, and we happened to kind of part, and after that the guy really despised me, kind of to a point where it became a little obsessive. So I just kind of put 2 and 2 together, and I kind of connected those 2 people to the hacking. At the time, that was the only person I could think of that would kind of do such a thing like this. So I kind of got to the bottom of that one. So the second time I got hacked, this was a little bit of a different story. This was at the end of my senior year in high school. This was May 2014. And at this time, I wasn't very active on social media to the point where I had deleted the Instagram app. It had been about a month or so that I hadn't even gone on it, just because my priorities were really changing. I was so focused on graduating high school and my life after high school that, social media was definitely not the first thing that came to my mind. So I had deleted the app, and it helped me. It was less of a distraction, less of a way to procrastinate. So the day that this happened, so in the afternoon, I had gone to take my senior photos, me being the last minute person I am. This is May 2014. I graduated June 2014, so it was very last minute, but I still got my pictures done, and me and my friend decided to meet up after at a froyo place and just get some froyo, hang out, whatever. So we did just that, and while I was getting my froyo, I guess he was on his phone scrolling through the Instagram feed, and he noticed that I had posted a photo, and like I said, at this time I wasn't even active on Instagram, so it was very unusual that I had posted a photo when I wasn't even active. Anyways, so someone had got into my account once again, and they had deleted, I think, about half of my photos, and they had posted a nude photo of someone, which is very provocative. And I was looking through the comments on the photo, and people were confused, and people were like, what's going on? There's about like 20 or 30 comments within 10 minutes of people just like, you know, just laughing at the picture. I guess the people thought it was a joke, or people being like, what's going on, just stuff like that. So the same thing happened. I went through my email, I changed my password once again, and I was able to recover my account once again. So I contacted my now friend, same guy who I said is very intelligent with computers, has a lot of knowledge about things like this. So I contacted him once again, and he was like, this is so unusual. Why is this such a reoccurring thing? It had been less than 6 months and I got hacked again. And he was like, I really hope you're not using that same email address. And that's what I had been doing. I had this one primary email address that I used for everything from college to social media. And he said that the first thing I need to do is, before he even tracked the IP address, he's like, you need to make a new email address, because these people are hacking into your account through your password, or it's your email address. And he was able to track the IP address once again, and he traced it to the parking lot of a grocery store that was within 5 miles from my house. And I was like, there's no way for me to find out who did it. Like, it's a parking garage, for God's sake. Like, anybody could be there. But I kind of once again put 2 and 2 together, and I remember that about 20 minutes before, you know, the person hacked into my account, one guy from school who kept Snapchatting me from that same parking lot. So it was very unusual. And I had noticed on his story, him and a bunch of his friends were just kind of hanging out in that parking lot. I think they were skateboarding or something like that in that random parking lot. So once again, I put 2 and 2 together. It kind of seemed like he did it. And I don't like pointing fingers, but it was kind of evident that he had done it. And it was pretty comical, because the next day at school I had a class with him, and he looked so uncomfortable. Like, he sat maybe 2 seats away from me, and the whole time his head was facing the desk. He wouldn't even look up. He was just sitting there doing his work like this. It was kind of it was very strange. He definitely didn't play it off cool, that's for sure. So the first time I got hacked, the problem was that the password I was using was something that it was so easy, to the point that I think a toddler could even get into my account. As tempting as it is to use a password like a birthday or a graduation date or something like that, it's very important to make sure your password is something complex, something that the everyday person can't get into. And if you're like me, the only passwords you can possibly come up with are things that people can easily get into. There are password generating apps, and I'll link a few of those down below. A few tips that I have are to use a mixture of lowercase and uppercase letters. Definitely use numbers and symbols, something that, you know, something that can't easily be hacked into. And I can't stress enough how important it is to not give your password to anyone under any circumstances. I feel like everyone and their mother has an Instagram account, so if your friends want to go through Instagram, they can make their own account. There's no need for them to use your account. If you want to show them something, well, that's the beauty of a screenshotting button. So don't let anyone get into your account, because you just never know. You want to, you know, take any precaution you can, because getting hacked, like I said, is not a pleasant experience. It's not something enjoyable, especially if you're someone who, you know, you're either a YouTuber or you're a Viner, and, you know, social media accounts like Twitter, like Instagram, like Facebook, or even YouTube are part of your career. The last thing you want happening is getting hacked. You know, the work you put in for those videos or those pictures, or something that you don't want to just easily have deleted. Making sure your account is safe and secure is very important. You want that peace of mind. What I did is I created a totally different email, something that nobody knows. It's an email that's dedicated primarily to my Instagram account, something that no one can get into, something completely random. And I'm gonna leave a few articles down below about hacking and precautions to take to avoid getting hacked. Hope you guys took something away from this video. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, who knows. Anyways, I'll see you guys all very, very soon. Bye.